Greetings and salutations, I'm your quirky artist Heini Mika. So I'm starting a new series. I'm still thinking, coming up with a name for the series, but yes, I was a flight attendant, stewardess. I like to call myself a stewardess. That's 60s Pan Am glamour. So yes, I was a stewardess for Etihad Airways for 6 years. Etihad Airways, they are based in Abu Dhabi, in the Middle East, in United Arab Emirates. The one airline you might have heard of, the most famous one or popular one, is Emirates, and they are over there, right across the border in Dubai, about 1 hour plus from Abu Dhabi. So yeah, I was with Etihad for 6 years. I worked my way up. So within 6 years, I worked in economy class, in business class, and then my last 4 years I spent in first class. And then, okay, so you guys know I'm an artist and now building my career here in New York City. And so I never dreamed of or wanted to become a flight attendant or a stewardess. That was never my MO. But it happened. In 2013, I left London. I finished my training as a makeup artist and I was working for NAS and Chanel and Yves Saint Laurent in London. And then I decided to go home when I ran out of money. And I remember I was at a country cabin and I was really like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with my life. I wanted to be an artist, but obviously it's difficult to be an artist if you don't have a second job. And I decided I'm not gonna go back to waitressing. So I wanna do something for real, student loans and stuff like that. So yeah, what happened was I was like just feeling sorry for myself. And my mom comes with the morning newspaper and there is a study or a long article about jobs and education, jobs and salary. So they divided it into 4 sections. So you had a job that requires high education, but the salary is very low. A job that requires minimum education, but the salary is very high. A job that requires high education, the job is very low. The job that requires high education and the salary is very high. Did I say that? Anyway, you get the, you know what I'm trying to say here. So the section that had, you know, like you need minimum education, but the salary is very high, was flight attendant. So mom was like, hey, you know, just read through this and then, you know, hey, there's a flight attendant. And I was like, oh, okay. So I read through that and I put it on Facebook. I was like, so my mom like now thinks that I should become a flight attendant. And my like old mate from uni, she just put Etihad. I think she just said Etihad, not Etihad Airways, she said Etihad. And I was like, what is that? So I googled and then Etihad Airways in Abu Dhabi. I was like, oh, really, like Middle East? Because this was 2013 and the Sex and the City movie, the second one, came out in 2010. So that was my only link to Abu Dhabi. Knew nothing about Abu Dhabi. I had seen the pictures from Dubai, like the Palm, and heard that Dubai is expensive and very glamorous. But Abu Dhabi, like that's all I knew, the Sex and the City movie. So I was like really go to the Middle East, you know, like it's a Islam and Muslim countries. Like, oh, I don't think I would be comfortable with that. And then one thing led to another, and I ended up working for them for 6 years, for six lovely years. So yeah, without like, and this is the makeup I'm gonna be getting ready because I have to head out. Like I have to go and pick up my painting, and Vincent and I, we are gonna go to Lower Manhattan and just have a little adventure today. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to the story and the makeup, yeah? Alright, let's get started. I primed my eyes with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance and used the Too Faced Lip Injection. Okay, I was like, I have no idea what kind of makeup I'm gonna do today. But yeah, so I got this one again. That's the Huda Beauty, the neon orange palette. So in case you saw my France video, you know that I was robbed in France and this was there. So I was able to find this via Poshmark because yeah, I really love this palette. So that's a gorgeous neon orange palette. Oh, okay, so what do I do? Goodness gracious. Okay, I'm gonna start with the orange one. I'm gonna start with this one. and put it on the lid. I was very lucky. I joined them in 2014 and I was able to move up to first class in about 2 years. So basically how it works, so you join, and so the normal flight attendants, cabin crew, stewardesses, stewards. So you join, you go through basic training, you go through first aid and then service training. And then you start from economy, i.e. coach. You start from there, and then eventually, hopefully, you will be considered for business class. So you will take, you will do, I think you do a test. You just do a test. I don't think there wasn't an interview. Anyway, you do the test. If you pass the test, then you will move up to business class. That might take time. For me, it was very quick. And then from there, you can choose to stay in business class, or you might become a business class manager, or you might become an economy class manager, or you can move up to first class. Now the thing is, with Etihad, only girls are accepted to first class, because according to Etihad and whatever UAE laws, they have to have at least one female in first class, because most of the chefs, because Etihad has chefs, most of the chefs are male, so you need to have one male and one female. So you can't have 2 males working the first class cabin. Don't ask. So yeah, so only girls can move up to first class, and then obviously from there you can go and become a business class manager, economy class manager, and then if you become economy class manager, eventually you can become what Etihad calls cabin manager, i.e. purser, who are the leaders of the flight. So the usual chain of command on the plane is captain, then you have first officers, and then you have the purser. So the purser leads the cabin crew team. And then with Etihad, you have cabin senior, who is managing economy, and then you have a business class manager called food and beverage manager, and then kind of first class manager, who is the chef. They're kind of the manager, but kind of not, because the purser cabin manager should also manage first class. So it's a little bit in the gray area, but that's how it works. So 2014 to 2020, when I was there, my rise was very quick, because Etihad was expanding at the time. They were getting 380s. Their first 380s came in 2015, I think in December or something, or November, December. And then the Boeing 787s were coming in. So Etihad needed a lot of new crew, and they promoted very quickly. So if your performance was on par, you got promoted very quickly. So I think me and my batch, most of us, we got promoted to business class in a year plus. I think I was in economy like 1 year, 3 months, and yeah, then I got to go to business class. Business class is super tough. After a while, I was like, no, I'm gonna go to first class. I would talk to the first class crew, and yeah, decided that I want to go to first class. Even before considering becoming a manager or something, I definitely want to go to first class. And I was very fortunate that so with first class, yeah, there was a test and then an interview, so passed all of them, and then they said like, okay, yeah, we will move you up to first class. And then I was in first class for 4 years. Okay, next color, I want to take this this beautiful coral. Like, my goodness, I'm obsessed with coral nowadays. So that was like my journey, and obviously I will start the series is coming, so I'll talk more. I'll go more into details about my life in Abu Dhabi and working for Etihad Airways and stuff like that. So I will go chronologically. So the next episode after this, I will talk about the whole process, like how I got hired. So 6 years with them, and yeah, was able to move up very quickly, which is technically very unusual, especially in like I imagine here in the States and in Europe, like these like Heritage, I believe they're called Heritage Airlines. So Lufthansa, American Airlines, British Airways, KLM, even All Nippon, ANA, Singapore Airlines. So these older airlines who have been around for a long time, so you don't get promoted that fast. I think even Emirates, they don't promote, or Qatar, they don't promote this quickly. It was just because Etihad was expanding, getting new fleet, so they needed people. They needed a lot of new people for economy, and then obviously because of the so you have been in the company long enough, obviously you will be considered for promotion and stuff like that. So it made sense. And especially the 380, because the 380 was a whole different thing, so you needed to be trained for that. And I didn't want to go on that bloody plane. Like I saw the size of that thing and I was like, ah, and the routes we would have to do on 380 is like my least favorite routes. So I was really like, no, I don't want to do that. And I think I was already in business class when the 380s came, and then they gave me the bloody training on Christmas. The Christmas season I had to spend in Abu Dhabi at school training for this plane I didn't want to, fly on. Gosh, but then again it turned out like a kind of like a blessing in disguise, because the 380 business class, 380 just the service wise, it's horrendous. Is awful, especially when the plane is full, or like especially the difficult routes like London, Sydney, New York. I like imagine me like saying a lot of horrible things right now about those routes, and we will get to those routes, like the least favorite and favorite routes of all time. We will get to those, but yeah, so I had to do that. But it was thanks to 380 that I was able to go to first class, is just because they need a crew. So more crew needed to be promoted to business class, and then girls who wanted to go to first class were considered, especially if you had the 380 training, because yeah, they needed those. And when I was promoted to first class, I also asked for my US visa, because you need a visa to come here, because technically you are working. Even if it's a layover, you are still at work. Etihad pays you for layover money. All of them do, Emirates, Qatar. So yeah, they give you that salary even though you are not like actually on the plane working. So yeah, that also I was like, I wanted the US visa, but only if I get to be in first class. In economy, forget about it. Business class, forget about it. So yeah, got that as well. So it's like everything just like fell into place for me when I got to Etihad. And yeah, in terms of the timing and everything, so yeah, I was very lucky that I was able to like have a career, this kind of career within 6 years, when many people they have to wait years and years and years. My journey with Etihad Airways was fine. Obviously there were a lot of hiccups, some drama as well. I got injured as well, so had to spend 4 months on ground, so stuff like that. But other than that, I'm just feel very happy and grateful that I moved up very quickly, and I got to see all the cabins. So I got to experience what it's like to work in economy, what it's like to work in business class, and then in first class. And then if you had 380, they would remove 320 Airbus. So I'm talking about Airbus here, yeah? So Airbus 380, Airbus 320, which are the smaller planes, like only one aisle. Airbus 380 is like it's two aisles, the double decker. Probably should have explained that already. Anyway, so yeah, and then obviously working first class on the 320s. You do the shorter routes, and so the most senior business class crew member would have to work as economy manager, so you get some manager experience as well, like what it's like to manage 120 people and 2 crew as well. Obviously you have the purser in the front who like is obviously in charge of the whole plane, but they kind of leave you alone, like you have to manage 120 passengers on your own. and then the small team as well, and then the residence, because Etihad Airways at that time on 380 had the residence where there was the butler, so sometimes I would have to assist the butler as well. So got good experience. My plan was to, oh, there's a fly here. My plan was to consider business class manager before the 380 came. I was like, I could actually become a business class manager. And then they gave me the 380 and I saw what life was like for those business class managers. And I said, no, thank you. The next color I'm gonna take this yellow and put it in the inner corner. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just wanna play with this palette today. The first video is obviously it's going to be how I joined Etihad Airways, because it's a cute story. I tried twice, all right. So tried the first time, they didn't take me, and then tried again. In the middle, I also did Emirates interview. They actually came to Helsinki, and yeah, did an interview with them. The same thing, same story. And then my second time doing the Etihad interview, then they took me. I just realized I have nothing to highlight with, so that's the Zodiac Love palette. So I'm gonna take this and then highlight. Obviously now things have changed with Etihad because of the pandemic. So I can't say what they're doing at the moment. So in this video, so if you have any questions for me, obviously you can put them down in the comment section, because I do read the comments. So if you have any questions, you can put them there. But yeah, currently I can't say what's happening with them, because according to the news, I don't know anybody there anymore. Like, because I think they laid off. Etihad about 5,000 plus cabin crew in January 2020, and I think the rumor has it that they laid off like more than half of their cabin crew during 2020, and including me. So I was made redundant in April. I did like my last flight, like bringing people back from Melbourne. Yeah, in April. And after that, I was made redundant. And then end of May, they called me and said, you know, you're gonna have a meeting tomorrow. And already in our cabin crew, like community, everybody kind of knew what that meeting meant. It meant that they are letting you go. And so yeah, so I was let go in May, 1st of June technically, was let go, and then I went back home. So what the news are saying at the moment is that Etihad is gonna become like almost like a budget airline. So they're only gonna have a few destinations, a few planes, and that's about it. So that is the rumor. So they want to be the Ryanair of UAE. These are just rumors and what I have been able to like gather from all the news that I've seen or I have read. So don't take my word as a gospel of truth. And I think it was about January 2020 when Etihad, I think they told us like they have about 157 nationalities working for them. So at the same time, for me, it was a blessing. It was like it was a double-edged sword, working with so many people from so many different nationalities. They have different morals, religions, their culture, different way people have been brought up. So you can, like, once this series gets going, like there has been some drama, including me. I mean, I have been included in some drama as well. I never liked creating drama, but yeah, I've been included in quite a few incidences, not by choice, once or twice by choice. So you can imagine it was very interesting to work with people and to hang out with people that you would not necessarily normally you wouldn't hang out with these people, let's say. But then you get to know them, and you're kind of like, hey, you learn something new about a different culture or people's like, yeah, morals and how they think and how they see the world and stuff like that. So it was a privilege to be able to do this job, really. Okay, next up I'm gonna put this orange under the eyes. So yeah, I actually should talk about that more as well, like what a privilege it was to be able to work for them, because because yeah, this is a job like not everybody can do, because at the end of the day, like the interview process is very long. It takes time and it's a very hectic day. You start about 8 in the morning and you finish at 5 p.m. if you make it until the very end. And the nature of job itself, like it is very very exhausting, very rewarding, but also very exhausting for your body, for your mind and your body. But there is no other job on this planet that allows you to travel and to literally go around the world like easily once a week. So it's once in a lifetime kind of job, and especially when you're young. So most people, they join when they are in their 20s. So you still have so much energy. Ideally you are open-minded, but yeah, you have the energy. So you do a night flight. So let's say you do a night flight to London. From Abu Dhabi to London, it's about 7 hours 10 minutes. So you do that. And where are all my Q-tips? I had so many Q-tips here. Gosh, okay, I'll use a brush. So yeah, 7 hours to London. So you leave Abu Dhabi or Dubai at 2 in the morning. You land into London about 6 or 7 in the morning, and then you go out for breakfast, depending on where you stay, because like I'll get to the crew hotels as well, because unfortunately you think about the glamorous cabin crew life, like you get to stay in Piccadilly and Times Square, and in Tokyo you get to stay in Roppongi or something like that, or Singapore you are in Marina Bay Sands. Is like no no, we stay at the airport, guys. Okay, it sucks. That's like, I always thought about it was BS. It was BS. You slave the whole night and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go for breakfast and maybe shopping or to a museum. First of all, it takes about 1 hour from Heathrow to get to to get to London, to get to Piccadilly. So it's like, it was BS, but still, when you are young, you do that. So you work the whole night, you get a double espresso, you take a shower, you change, you get a double espresso or maybe Red Bull, and then you just go. And then boom, you are in London, you are at Fortnum & Mason at 11 a.m., 12, having afternoon tea, early afternoon tea, or you having breakfast there. And then you go to a museum, or you go shopping, or you get your essentials, like you do your grocery shopping for the next few days. It is a glamorous life. Like, if you remove the work aspect, it is a glamorous life, that there is no other work or job on the planet that allows you to do that. That you wake up in Abu Dhabi and then you have dinner in London. So it is a very glamorous job. It's like my wardrobe, like all these beautiful things that I have, because I love to have beautiful things, are from around the world. And like the magnets, like I told myself I wouldn't get caught in the magnet trap, but I did. So our fridge is filled with magnets from around the world. So it is a very glamorous job, and I feel very privileged, and whatever like issues I might have had, nevertheless, this was a once in a lifetime opportunity, once in a lifetime job. And especially because most of us, when we moved to the Middle East, none of us, most of the people I talked to, nobody said that I will stay here forever. And especially when you're so young, you are in your 20s, so it's a pit stop. It's a pit stop for many of us to work there for a few years, save money, because Etihad, they gave you an apartment for free, so you only paid for the Wi-Fi, for the internet, and the TV, I believe. Other than that, everything else was taken care of. The transport to the airport, and what else. So you can really save money. Like, I was able to pay my student loans, my Finnish student loan, because I have to. So one of my student loans was done, over and done with, because of this. I was doing this for 6 years. So it's a very good opportunity, and if you're smart, that you pay off your loans, or you take a loan in your home country, and then you know you build a house for you or something like that, and then you work off that loan, and then when you go home you have a house, something like that. So if you don't get caught in the trap that you go shopping everywhere and you max out all your credit cards, and then like now what happened is that yeah, like people like, I feel so sorry for those people who had so many loans and credit cards that they couldn't pay off. So I'm really like, what happened to those people? Because I was lucky Vincent was able to help me out. So really it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but just don't, if you go to the Middle East, don't just be smart, please. Be smart about it. The shopping is nice, you get all these wonderful things, but speaking from experience, be smart about it. Okay, I'm gonna take the same sparkly yellow. I'm also gonna put it underneath here. And I think I'm gonna need an eyeliner, different eyeliner for this, because I don't wanna, I'm like kind of done with the eyeshadows, so a colored pencil, could be the thing that brings this whole thing together. So yeah, if you have any questions, obviously times are still difficult, so I have no idea if Etihad or Emirates or Qatar, if they are hiring people, but when they start, I think Emirates especially, I think what I understood, they're still doing okay. Like they're doing okay, and they have no plans to scale down because they have so many 380s, Airbus 380s. So I believe they're gonna need new crew. So yeah, keep an eye on that if that is something that you really you wish to do. And the funny thing is, like, my family, obviously, I mean my extended family, like, because yeah, Finland has Finnair, and Finnair has a very good reputation in the airline industry. And I remember when they were getting their 350s in 2000, and I think it was the same 2015. So my family, they started sending me like all these news articles about the 350s and where they would fly, mostly to Asia. So they were like come home and join Finnair and what else. And I was like, you know, bitch, I just moved up to business class and I'm gonna go to first class. Like, if I join Finnair, I will be stuck in economy for 5 years at least. So no, thank you. So yeah, like now that I have this experience, am I gonna go back to flying? No. I thought about private jets, so I would not join a commercial after this, no. And I actually got accepted to fly with Presidential, which is a private jet based in Abu Dhabi. So they are connected with Etihad Airways. So Etihad would actually would send they would take Etihad crew to work for them privately. You would still able to stay in Etihad accommodation and stuff like that, but you would work for them. And the salary was, I think, close to double what Etihad was paying, and obviously paying, because obviously it's a private jet, so the clientele is completely different. And I got accepted. I did the online stuff they sent us, and then I did the interviews and I passed. But I didn't go because that year I was turning 30 and I had this big party planned in Paris and in Versailles. And also my summer holidays was a no touch. Like the airline, I was like, I would not allow anybody to take my summer holiday from me. I wanted to go home. So what happened was, they are like, yeah, welcome, your training starts in June, and then yeah, you are off. Yeah, then you are off. And I said, well, please, like, I have made all these plans for October for my birthday, and then my July holidays, like, may I please keep those? And they said, absolutely not. It's like, no. It's like, if you want to come, you need to forfeit all your holidays for the rest of the year. And I said, no, thank you. So I said, yeah, please keep me in mind, maybe next year, but for this year, unfortunately, no. I have made plans that I cannot cancel. And rumor has it I was blacklisted, that they, like, once you say no to them, they will never touch you again. Don't know if that's true, but I kind of like to think that's true because I'm like, come on now, come on now. So, as you know, I'm building my art career here in New York, and I have been invited to do a show in Milano in September. So yeah, I'm building my art career now, but a long answer to your question, will I go back and join the aviation industry again? No. Private perhaps, if it gets that desperate, like if Vincent and I is like, it gets that desperate. Fine, private, yes. Commercial, no, never again. So I'm gonna do my lashes, so you know the Milk and the Tilbury, the pillow talk, and then yeah, gonna do this and then get back to you, okay? That is that, and then for the lips I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Coral Kiss lipstick. There you go, very cute. Yeah, so that is it. It's gonna be a series, so we will go chronologically, like what actually happened, and talk about like all the nitty-gritty, spilling the tea, and what else on like my life, like how my life was there, and the career, and whatever, what it's like to work for Etihad Airways. The same could be said about Emirates. My old flatmate, she was from Emirates, so there are a lot of stuff that like how do you call it? Overlap with Etihad and Emirates, so the culture is very, very similar. But yeah, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, please like and subscribe. Like, hey, I noticed. Some of you are coming back, so thank you so much, you're coming back. But for you guys, I know there's a lot of you who haven't subscribed, so please do that. It's a bad look. We all know it's a bad look when you watch videos and you don't subscribe. So please do that. So thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. So have a great day. Bye. Ciao.